we try to make the sport available. So we try once again to secure the right offer within the store for our customer. But today, the way we work the flow with the Central L mass plan, with the Manhattan L mass plan, is good. It's quite efficient, to be honest, but I'm not sure it's the best one to highlight the sports and to move finally from available sport to something which is more ambitious, which is visible sports. So we are testing at the moment in Anubava since last week a new mass plan. We can probably move forward in terms of slide just to illustrate this point. It's just after the point that we have discussed now, so you can carry on with the next slide if you can. And the test that we have done according to Anubava is the fact that we propose a circular journey so that the customer can discover more sports, more usage. I'm super pleased when the customer can see Quechua. I'm super happy when the customer can see Between. I'm super delighted when the customer can see fitness, but I also want the customer to see target sports, fishing, climbing, horse riding, those sports who are often lost at the middle of nowhere. And with the circular mass plan, we know that the customer eyes will be attracted by many more options. So we have put that in place in Anubava. We are going to measure after a few weeks and few months the results because it's a test. And we will see if it can be a good option for other stores. We mustn't think that circular plan will be implemented everywhere in India. It's not the purpose. Each store leader can choose if he wants to keep with the Central L option or the Manhattan L option. Circular mass plan will be an option if it is popular and if the performance is there in Anubava. So we will see. We need a few weeks to check that, and measure the performance in terms of TO, in terms of average basket, and conversion as well. But we are quite confident, to be honest. We are working hard on the details at the moment, but we are quite pleased with the first weekend performance.
I think the KPI was a pretty simple one. Gerald was telling me it was about increasing the average basket value. That was the main test.
That's the idea. That's really the idea, because if we manage to highlight and to show better all the usage, all the product, all the sports, at the end of the day, the idea is that the customer will purchase one or two products more, or will just understand the value and will purchase maybe something which is more technical and a little bit more expensive as well.
Right. Some more questions, Benoit, about the product itself. We really take a lot of pride in Decathlon about what products we have on our offer and how we sell them. As sport leaders, how can we explain our, the price value ratio, the quality value ratio as well in a much better way? Because I think that's also a unique selling point of Decathlon.
That's one of the biggest challenges, to be honest, we face. First of all, at company level, and then for sure in India. It is true that the way we explain the value of our second price, our third price, our iconic products is not that good at the moment. We cannot say that we are a world champion, definitely not. And we have decided to change this result and I would say try to say, okay, let's do it. It's been since 1976 creation of Decathlon that we have the same issue, and now we need to move forward. And it is super important because it's all about virtuous circle. If we manage to sell the second price, if we manage to sell our technical models on a better manner, we know that the margin on those products is higher than the other products, especially the first price. But then if the margin is better, you know what will happen. We will be capable to decrease the first price and to make our products really affordable for the many. today we've got a good image in terms of price, but let's be clear, you have many Indians who still cannot afford to purchase our products. So we want to bet on this value explanation, also to create this rule that will make the decrease of the first price based finally on the strategy more than the fact that we put pressure on the store margin. So that is why it is so important. First of all, to please the customer, but also because finally our long-term success relies on the fact that we can sell those value products to contribute to decrease our price attractivity. If I take an example, if I sell my tennis ball 930 because I explain them better, then I will be able to decrease my first price ball in the future. It's super simple. So that's the main challenge. And now, for sure, we need to make it happen. We have done some good points since the beginning of the year, especially with what we call the Life After Recovery Plan. You know that we can find many good strategies inside the Life After Action Plan. And if I give you an example, we've got the step 1 and step 1.5 experience, where we can display the product, you know, and forget the packaging, which is hiding the product, and also work on the fact that we put the product in situation. So we bring the customer into his practice, and it is super exciting. And the main message I want to pass, we are 4,000 people in India. So if each one of us tries something new in terms of product value explanation every day, because we've got 365 days within a year, if you calculate quickly, it means that we can put in place 1.5 million IDs within the layout, and then for sure we can share them online also by sending the content, by adding some pictures, some videos, or whatever we can. So imagine 1.5 million new IDs in terms of the way we express the value. That's amazing, and it really relies on the local creativity. And I really think that local creativity finally makes a global success. So it's a collective game that we really want to make. And you know, I love the sentence. Yesterday we were joking about the sentence of famous people. And there is one which is known who is Thomas Edison. And Thomas Edison was always saying that genius is 1% of inspiration and 99% of perspiration. So let's do it. We are 4,000. Let's decide that every day we will put something in place, and at the end we will become a genius, and we will generate for sure a super good performance. So it's a collective game, definitely.
Katie, can we just have the presentation back on screen, please? All right, but just also another couple of things that came up in our discussions as well. You know, we have about 25 offline life after actions and 5 online actions that have, you know, been put out for the last 3 to 4 months. Which ones do you think are successfully being carried out or are being carried out? And which ones do you think are, maybe you could say, second line now? Or if I have to keep it a bit simple, which is the best ones that are working today?
It's all about encourage people to purchase more, and we have in the Life After Action Plan many good options. If I want to really highlight what has been super popular, I will talk about multi-buy offers, well managed by the whole team and the help of Arjun. Combos, panoplies, really well managed by Dhiren, Sonali, and all the teams as well. And now we can see that we are much more commercial according to these options. And I love also the product of the month. Product of the month is, you know, the fact that we display a special offer at the entrance of the store, and each month we are going to change our mind, you know, and surprise the customer. Exactly like we promote when you go on the landing page of Decathlon.in, it is the same idea, but let's do it also within the store. and we have made a huge amount of money on the yoga mats, on the cardio tracksuit. At the moment, we are playing the swimming towel and hiking jumpers. It's a big success. And it relies on one number, is that we have 40% of our customers who are visiting us more than 5 times per year. And 5 times per year, I want to surprise them. I don't want to see the same store entrance, you know, all year long. It's not funny. So this strategy is super powerful.
Also, Benoit,
Because,
along these lines, there was a question that was asked, what's the main difference between a homepage and product of the month? There is a bit of a connection over here where
It's
people...
a very good question. So the product of the month is really cash, turnover, and I would say money. So we put products with a high amount of stock, big price, big creative banners to express the value. And the idea is really make sure that the customer will purchase after 2 or 3 seconds within the store. So that's the idea for the product of the month. Homepage is something different. Homepage is something to inspire the customer and to give him the energy to come back, to trust Decathlon and come back. So when you display a homepage, you can, for instance, display some mannequins or stuff like that to show made in India, to show the fact that we are eco-design and stuff like that, and to really seduce people and encourage them to come back. So this is 2 different displays and 2 different targets. When the store is big enough, we can display 1 homepage and 1 product of the month at the entrance of the store. And when the store is too small, I really encourage to focus on product of the month, because definitely the purpose is to generate turnover and not only encourage people to come back. So this is the difference between what we call product of the month and the physical homepage.
And I think you were also mentioning for the life after actions, multi-buys and combos as well. And you would consider these 3 to be the most important ones that have really worked?
I think that those ones have been super popular. So we will carry on for sure in what we call the life after step 2. We have also new ones, you know, according to the autumn-winter seasonality. And we are really very happy because we can see that the customers are really reacting, you know, in terms of commercial bargains and getting these opportunities, you know, to purchase and finally to be super happy with what Decathlon is giving. Then, to be honest with you, because it was also one of your questions, we've got a couple of things within the Life After Action Plan, which was a little bit more disappointing. And I will take one example, maybe, according to this, because I think we need all store leaders to be super involved. It is what we call the United Sales Plus complementary sales management. We know that the customer love complementary sales. If we can display some products, you know, it's super good for the customer to see them and to be attracted. But the way it happens is selfish. If I'm in charge of running, I will display running products. If I'm in charge of hiking, I will believe in my hiking products. If I'm in charge of this and that, and we are always working, you know, thinking about my sport, my ale, my department, or whatever you want. And we need to change this because it's not what the customer is expecting. So if the customer wants a towel in tennis, I will have to put a towel from Naibaji within my layout or within my website as well. If one customer who is purchasing some basketball would like to get some wristband, Artango wristband should be located as well within the tarmac balls. So it's all about opening our minds and playing collectively. And Saurav, who is in charge of this action plan, has made super interesting movies. He has shared very interesting pictures, but he's still frustrated because at store level, we've got this big frontier between sports and we are still selfish. So I really want us to change this. It's not fair because this is not what the customer is wanting at the end. So let's change the culture and let's be united according to selling the complementary products. You will see that the average basket as well will increase immediately.
The one thing that comes to my mind about United S Plus is also that it connects to the efficiency of the country as well. We speak a lot about efficiency today at the country level. We speak about the target for next year as well. According to you, what are the good examples that we have that help us to save time, space inside the layouts, and of course the money that we spend, so that we can use this time to help customers instead?
Exactly, that's exactly the right question. How can we save time so that the sport leader can spend and interact more with the customer? It can be done for sure within the store. We know now that we can do it also on the website, OmniChat, etc. We've got fantastic ways of interacting with the user. But if we lose some time in the store, it will not happen. So what we have decided and what is the most efficient for sure is to remove all non-useful communication. Let's be clear, let's be transparent, let's be honest. The number of layout communication, PLV, ELV, coming from Europe is a nightmare. We've got more than 4,000 layout communication at company level. But to be honest, I think 150 or 200 is largely enough. We are not selling fixtures, we are not selling communication, we are selling products. And you can see the picture on the screen, which is really nice because it shows exactly what we should not do. You can see 3 or 4 support, telling you that this is where you can find sleeping bags. But I'm not a stupid idiot, I can see that. What I want you is to explain me what is the difference between the models, but you don't have to explain me that it is for hiking, trekking, with all these kind of things which are not particularly tidy, which are requesting a huge amount of money, space, time. And this kind of thing, we remove just everything, we don't want them, no thanks. Because at the end of the day, it's a huge amount of time for the sport leader to connect with the user and sell more products. So we have done a big effort within the CAT plan of this autumn winter, removing a huge number of things. And I'm really open to listen to the store leader and the sport leader to what will be the next step, because I still believe we have too much. And I'm really ready to say, let's get rid of what is not useful. So feel free to connect yourself with me because it's a permanent fight to save time, cost, and for sure, at the end, space as well, as you have expressed. The second example is we need to be more professional in the way that we provide the right tools. Today, when you participate to the delivery, we have many stores that are not using any cutters. So they try to open the box, with their fingers, sometimes with their credit card or something. It doesn't make sense. It takes ages. It's dangerous as well. So we are now referencing in the fixture team in the following days, a cutter, so that we can really open the box in 1 second, safely, and win a lot of time at the end. The second example is what you can see at the middle. We can also implement our products on the grill by having, this kind of rubber where you can see all the heights. And instead of calculating each time you want to put one product where it will go, you can see that in 1 second and make your implementation super quickly. So we need to provide tools, and I encourage store leaders for sure to invest because it's really not expensive at all. So the rubber is already available and the cutter will come very soon in the fixture list. And the last example is the way we promote the clearance. So historically, we were putting some signage, but sometimes it's a bit confusing for the customer, the signage, is it this product? Is it another one? So we are now developing some stickers, and I can see a lot of good examples on the WhatsApp groups, so that we can get rid of these products. Because when we get rid of clearance, we generate cash and we generate budget to purchase 540. So if we want to have stock on bikes, for instance, and I think you know what I mean, we need to get rid of those clearance, because the more budget we get, more bikes we will, I would say, order for the end of the year. So that's the idea and a few examples, but we have many other examples according to efficiency.
And you also have one more interesting side with the marks on the grid.
Yes, so that's what I call the rubber, but maybe it's not the right name, to be honest. So the mark on the gondola is once again a very smart cost solution to make your implantation much quicker when we move, but also when we change the layout. You know, it happens nearly every day. And I believe that we should have at least one per sport within our stores, just to be more efficient. If you can implant, if you can put your products and just spare 5 minutes, those 5 minutes will be 5 minutes dedicated to conversation with your customer. And we know that the strength of the store is also human. If you visit the store, it's because of human, because of sport leaders' availability and knowledge. If not, you prefer the website. So that's why it's so important to improve the efficiency, is to really keep Decathlon as a human retailer, and the strength of human is so important. We talk about experience. For sure, we need to display the product outside of the packaging and stuff like that. But experience is all about human. When you go to the restaurant, it's all about the food, but it's also the smile and the connection that you can get with the waiter, and the good advice that maybe he will bring or she will bring according to the food you will decide to order. So that's the same for us. And I really believe that efficiency is one way of making Decathlon more human in the future.
All right. And I'm sure everybody has this in their mind. And I'm sure that at one point of time, they'll all start to mail you, which is okay. I think you'll have a lot of questions and a lot of emails to answer. But if, for instance, it's not possible for you to answer every single email, where can people find all the information regarding merchandising and the life after, for example, at this moment of time?
We have one internal platform which is called Intranet SignSport site, where we plug within a link which is called merchandising, that you can see on the top of the page, all the information that you request. So you will find for sure all the detailed action plan according to the life after step 2, which is visible on the page. And it will give you, I would say, all the content that you need. So, for instance, you need to print some multi-buy offers. You need to put in place some stuff in terms of experience. You will find within this step 2 all the link according to the different action, including all the content that you need to put in place in one go. But then, if we move to the next slide, you can find also on the site all the things you need according to the skills. Because I really believe that at the end, Omnimerch is like Olympic Games. If you want to win the gold medal, it's all about the skills. And that's very important that we invest on this. Francis Bacon, who is also famous, was saying that knowledge is power and knowledge is skills. And I really believe that when you work on these different topics, when you discover those different guidebooks, you increase your skills and your power. I will take one example because this one is incredible. Is one on the right part of the page, which is called How to Sell Layout Guide. This layout guide is the Bible of Decathlon in terms of merchandising. And I really think that we should propose to every single new teammate joining Decathlon to read carefully the How to Sell guide, because it's really the Bible. You can find every single aspect of layout and merchandising, the way we sell, online, offline, many best practice, many numbers, many figures, many good examples about what we are supposed to secure to increase our performance. And this layout guide has requested 6 months of work. First of all, I spent nearly all the lockdown working on that. Then I got the feedback from many city leaders. And then we have worked with Anshruta, who works for the communication, on all the illustration. And she's finishing this week the last update. So it means that next Monday, when you will connect on the intranet SciSport merchandising site, you will find the most accurate updated layout guide of the company. There is no other country who is doing that. So I really encourage the store leader to use the layout guide like the Bible of induction. And I'm even studying printing some example, even if we want to respect sustainability. I also believe that when you have your proper layout guide where you can write some comments or just keep it, with you all the time, it's something that we need to study in the future, because the digital version is a good one, but we know that sometimes people will forget it. And when we have a physical one, I think it will be a permanent, I would say, skill Bible where people can really boost their level and also work closely with, once again, all the newcomers, whoever they are, retail, architect team, construction, expansion, digital team. Everybody needs to be connected to the layout guide. So basically, this is where you can find everything. You can also contact the referent, Itendra for retail training, Pratik for SciSport. So when you have some question, you can reach us super easily according to the intranet SciSport site. And then don't be afraid, if you want to reach me by chat or by email, you can do it as well whenever you want. I'm not always answering quickly, but I always answer.
There was a question that was asked from the Google form sent earlier by Kunal. It was really interesting. The question here was, how can a sport leader or a store leader measure the range performance of their store? So for example, if they're in range 1 or range 2 for a specific family, how do they know that that's the right range, and how do they make sure that they have the right range inside their store? How can they measure it? So this question was more about the tool. What tools can they use to understand if they've made the right decision?
So at store level, when you decide your range selection process, I can say that after recruiting your team, it's probably the most important decision of the year, because it's all about, once again, proposing the right products and the right offer. So when you follow a range and then you work on the next year range, first of all, you need to study the range choice guideline, which is given by the SciSport, because the SciSport is not more, is not stronger than you, is not stronger than retail. People who work in SciSport, they are not more clever, I would say, than people working in retail, but they've got a small difference. They know the future. The store knows the range today, can study the figures of yesterday. The SciSport is working on tomorrow. So when you study super carefully the range choice guideline and all the good advice that we share within these documents and during those Visio meetings that we organize, I think that you've got 90% of the answer. And without spending ages analyzing figures and numbers, you've got probably 90% of what you have to study and secure by reading carefully those documents. Unfortunately, it's not always the case. People will read the first page or will read in 5 minutes and then forget it. But it's really super important that the store really commit to the range choice guideline, because they don't know what will happen tomorrow. They just know what will happen today. And so this information is super important. Then, if it's not enough, if some sport leaders, if some store leaders believe that they still need to study a little bit more, they can ask to the retail supplier a file, an extraction, a query, which will give them the turnover share per family and per range at country level. So I take the example of, I don't know, tennis ball. How much turnover is generated by product in range 1? How much turnover is generated by the product in range 2, etc. By this way, they can decide if they will move from one range to another, because we know that sometimes the store is small and is hesitating between two families. I would like to select range 2, but I cannot do it on both families. I'm not sure. I've read the guideline, but I'm not sure. I'm not so sure about what I should decide. So this query can be interesting, because if it's done at country level, you can get the average numbers, and I believe a lot in the fact that the average is globally the right answer. Those type of queries are not always provided by the sport, so it's more under request that we provide this kind of tool. But once again, I really believe that the more time you spend on the range choice guideline shared by the SciSport, the better the choice will be at the end. And if I were a young sport leader, I would rely on that, more than fighting with too many numbers.
Right. So I think that's the end of the session as of now. I'm just asking also, if it's not clear, if there's any questions to ask Benoit. It could be anything at all regarding merchandising, regarding the life after actions, anything at all. You can drop it in the chat. We've also looked at all the questions in the Google form. A couple of them are already answered through the session here today. If there's anything left over here and there, we will also send you an email with all the answers from Benoit as well. I think we have another question over here. The trend is towards cycle and fitness. I think the question, are you asking the stores to go crazy on winter, or do we find a balance between cycle and fitness because of the current trend?
So the question, I believe, is really linked with the implantation logic. So first of all, according to cycling, it's really a destination sport. So it means that the success of cycling relies on the fact that the teammates know the products and that the stores master ready to ride. I spent 6 years in between. I was also a cycling department manager. You can for sure put between at the entrance of the store, but this is not the key point. The key point is, once again, the capacity of the team to sell the product, the capacity for sure of SciSport to give some availability. So you know that today we focus on 8 bikes because we don't have the capacity to do more at the moment due to the big success that we have had since the beginning of the year. But anyway, those 8 bikes will be super available. And that's the most important. And then once again, the location within the store is a cherry on the cake. So I will never force anybody to let between at the back of the store. It's a local decision to decide, but I'm saying that it's not a key point for cycling. Then for fitness, it's different. Fitness, you have many products for the user, but you have also many products for extension of usage in Pilates, in cardio, etc. And I believe, from what I've seen in India, maybe I was not lucky, but when I visited some stores, most of the time in Bangalore since the lockdown, but a little bit earlier also elsewhere, I believe that fitness is a bit far in the because I believe it's a bit far within the customer journey, and we should study when fitness warm location, because the impact of apparel, for instance, is totally crazy on the conversion. And from what I've seen, once again, I think we can study that. So I think the real question is for fitness, to be honest.
All right. Sandesh has another question. Benoit, when will we have the CAD plans for the short gondolas? Excuse me. Okay, I think we have a stuck Benoit. Just a minute. Let me just check on his internet. Just a minute, guys. We're just checking on Benoit. 1 minute. Sorry.
Maybe didn't like the question. Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, I don't think he likes Sandesh. Sandesh, are you here? Sorry about the sneeze. I don't have COVID. Thank you, Lokesh, for blessing me.
So until Benoit is back, guys, I'm just sharing this one link where the idea is we want this session just not to be one way, like, you guys listening and, Benoit sharing his information, but also to become like, a little bit of engagement in future. So on this link, you can share this with your sport leaders, with your teams, where everyone can ask questions to Benoit, and more importantly, whatever we have discussed in this session, feel free to share some pictures, like, before and after with Benoit. So Benoit can actually, he has said yes to share the good practices within the country once in a week in one of his emails. So please feel free to add anything if you would like to share with Benoit on this link.
It's his way of being efficient, I think. Is he here?
No.
Actually, he is. 1 minute.
I guess he has some trouble connecting his audio.
Yeah, I think I just see his video on the icon. Do we have any other questions as well? Anything at all that you want to address to Benoit? We don't hear you, Benoit. I think you're on mute.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was disconnected.
Right. The question that you were answering was from Sandesh. We thought you don't like him so much because you went away. The question was about CAD plans based on short gondolas. When do you think it will be available?
To be honest, we don't need to have different CAD plans due to shorter gondola. If we have gondola which size is 44, and then some gondolas with 37, globally, what you will have between 38 and 44 is nothing. So 99% of the CAD plans made with 44 will be perfectly compatible with 37 height gondola. The only exception where we can study to provide a different option is when we use very short gondola. So the one with 24 eighths. The good news for SS21 is the merchandiser will benefit from a new software, which is called Merge 3D, instead of DAO Plus for the CAD plans. And when they work their CAD plans, they just click on one button, and then the gondola will move from 44 to 37 in one go. So when they provide the CAD plan, finally, they can decide to work on 37 to be sure that nothing will come between 38 and 44, and then keep it simple, keep it simple in the way they will share with the store. But to be honest with you, I've been working 2 years in a French store before joining India, using shorter gondolas, and we have always used the traditional CAT plans and just use our brain and our common sense, and except maybe 2 or 3% of cases or families where we had some adaptation really to put in place. Globally, it was not a big problem. So it's all about, I would say, using also our skills and our training, as I was saying just before. We mustn't forget one thing, if I can add a word on this topic, is the CAT plan is here to help the sport leader. It's not the sport leader who is helping the CAT plan. Huh? It's just a tool. So it's like a guideline notice, you know, and then everything relies on the sport leader and what he wants to do. It's just a help, but CAT plan is not mandatory. It's just something to help you. And if you need to adapt just a little bit, nobody will complain.
All right. I think there's no further questions, Benoit. So we're just going to go ask you to sum up and wrap up the entire session. If you could just highlight some key points and key takeaways for everyone to keep in mind for the last quarter to come on stronger for 2021. We will end the session after that.
Yes. So I would just, I would say, use another famous sentence which has been shared a long time ago by John Kennedy. He was telling us, you don't have to ask what your country can do for you. You need just to ask what you can do for your country. So he was thinking for sure about the United States at this time. But I'm just saying that we need to think the same topic according to Decathlon Sport India. So in all the things that we have shared today, I think most of them rely on the energy of our teams. So for instance, if we want to succeed on united complementary sales, it's all about doing it together. If we want to really become super good in terms of product value, for sure it will come from the science sport, but it is also linked with 4,000 teammates, fantastic teammates that are working every day for DSI. And then if we need to increase our choice, it's all about training, explanation. So in the following weeks, for instance, I will provide an e-learning kit to really better explain the different type of ranges. Today we've got range 1, we've got range 2, range 3, but we have also range 4. Sometimes it's a bit tricky for the store, exclusive online offers or not. Range 5, what is a range 5? So I will make an e-learning kit just to detail all these things. And I will also detail the different densities that we have discussed at the beginning of the meeting, Opti, Mini, but also Flex, because I really believe that the choice is really linked with a better understanding of the teammate. So it means that if they don't understand, it means that we don't provide the right kit. So I will provide this in the following weeks. The video is already made, so we just need to fix, I would say, the final detail. And hopefully we will plug that on Decathlon Academy as well to make it available for the entire country. So I really believe a lot also in the fact that most of those strategy, and especially the one on the choice, rely on a better explanation about the tool and the process. So we will provide this very soon. So the good news, guys, and it was very nice to participate today, despite the small problem of connection, is that everything is in our hands. There is nothing relying on somebody else. It's all about making that happening. Life after action plan as well, for sure, because it's really save our life into 2020. So you will have, we really expect you, I would say, to go deep into details. I was checking a few things in Anubhava, and the team was telling me, you know, job done, everything is implemented. And when you check carefully, you always find 5–10% which is not done. So store leaders control all the action plan in terms of life after, because you will find also sometimes a few things missing. Retail is detailed, so we need your support on this topic. But then I'm super confident, I'm super excited by the end of the year. It's like a marathon, but we have to make a sprint, you know, at the same time. It is super exciting, and we will continue to fight to save the RON rupee once again. This is the target of the year.
All right. Thanks a lot, Benoit, for all your insightful quotes, but also insightful information. I'm just going to ask everyone to have their videos on. We'll just take a quick our group picture. This is what we do now, I think, on VC. So quickly, if everyone can just take off their, put on their, not take off your mask, put on your video. And I think I can see Pooja looking like she's from the next 30, 40 years from now with her mask on. But anyway, we'll just take a quick picture. Chelsea, I think if you're here, I don't see you. So you have to take it away.
Yep. Okay, I have 4 screens. 1 second. 3, 2, 1, pause. Second. Hold that there. Guys, you need to hold your pose. Okay, one more time.
Is that you with the background sound as well, or is it somebody else?
No, it's me.
Ta-da!
Ta-da. Okay. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone. I'll be sharing one email message with you with all the PPT, the feedback form, the link where you can share your practices with Benoit. And if anything else, please feel free to connect with me.
Yeah, so don't forget with the link that Katie sends for Thursday. So Benoit picked the best layout action that he thinks has been sent to him on every Thursday. So let's get featured in Benoit's email.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys. Bye.
Thank you for the organization. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Benoit. Thank you, sir.